2 weeks ago to the day, firefighter Jordan Melton and Jamal Jones were shot while working at station number 9 in Norwood.
And 5 days later, Melton would die from his injuries. Funeral services this afternoon in Birmingham. Flags across the state honoring Melton's life as loved ones and fellow firefighters say their final goodbyes at his funeral. WVTM 13's Magdala Lusant attended Melton's funeral today. Magdala, really an emotional day for so many in this case.
Yes, Brittany, Ian, very emotional. That service starting at 12:15 and that, or 12:17 rather, and that was intentional because that was the time that firefighter Jordan Melton was born. Now, we want to show you video of what it looked like in that service. It was very crowded, a lot of people there, his family, the fire department presenting an American flag to both his mom and his father, and also his helmet to his sister. We saw and heard from a lot of people. This included state lawmakers. Representative Wandalyn Gavan was also there with other state leaders behind her as she spoke. And one of the things she mentioned was putting down the guns. As you've already said, Brittany and Ian, firefighter Melton was shot early this month while working at Fire Station 9 in the Norwood area that morning on July 12th, and sadly he passed away from his injuries not too long ago, about a week ago. Well, we also heard from other people he made an impact in their lives. We heard from the folks from the Hoover City school system, board members and city councilors. We heard from Mayor Randall Woodfin there as well, who got a chance to meet him because he joined the fire department a year ago, but just graduated from through the recruitment class last month. And that's where Mayor Randall Woodfin had a chance to meet him and talked about his infectious smile. The Fire Chief Moon, talked about the kind of firefighter he was. Just take a listen to what he had to say.
Today is not going to be the end for Jordan's family. They're all going to continue to need all of our love and support. So I ask everyone in this room, please continue to wrap your arms around Jordan's family.
Yeah, and that was another thing that was mentioned throughout this service, that people still need to support and wrap their arms around this family, and not even just his family, his mother, his sister, his dad, relatives, but also the Birmingham Fire Department, his colleagues who he worked with in this year, close to about a year of him working with them. They need support as well. They have never been through anything like this. So I'm sure this is all very shocking to them. And even just his coworker, who we're told too, Mayor Randall Woodfin had mentioned in his speech that when he went to go check on that firefighter, he was always asking, how was Jordan doing? How was Jordan doing? And so I can only imagine how devastated he is at this moment, knowing that his coworker did not make it. Jordan was 29 years old, and he made an impact in so many people's lives, crossing city lines, not just in Birmingham, but also in Hoover and other athletes as well. We saw video and heard from former NFL player Jameis Winston, who knew Jordan and talked about him and the kind of person he was. So I left here learning more about him. He wasn't just a firefighter, but he was a mentor to some people in the Birmingham area, and he was an athlete, a good athlete too, according to his coaches. So we know that there is a procession, or the funeral, or the cemetery, the casket has been taken to the cemetery now, and we'll have more coverage on that. But that was the service that we got a chance to be a part of today. We're live in Birmingham. I'm Magdala Lusant, WVTM 13.
All right, Magdala, we'll check in with you coming up again in just a few moments. You mentioned that procession, and I want to go ahead and show you what that looked like from Sky 13. You can see that fire truck right there that has the casket of Jordan Melton on it right there. It was loaded by colleagues just outside of the funeral service, draped in flowers, and making that final journey to his final resting place. You see it going under 2 ladder trucks there. They come together and have the American flag draped overhead as the truck drives by. And it wasn't just this fire truck that we saw, but we saw trucks from all throughout central Alabama, folks who wanted to pay their respects and honor Jordan Melton's life and legacy, his service to our community. We saw Rocky Ridge, Tarrant, Hoover, all sorts of folks who came out today to take a few moments to honor his life and thank him for his service. Now, that deadly shooting, as we mentioned, that was 2 weeks ago. Melton and Jamal Jones were shot at Fire Station 9. It was July 12th. Melton passed away last Monday. Jones is still recovering from his injuries. At this point, that investigation is still ongoing. There are rewards up to $45,000 for any information leading to an arrest.